Is man on the threshold of a new world or merely stuck on a circular treadmill repeating the doomed lessons from history which he never seems to learn? A growing number of scholars believe the world's macabre fascination with nuclear war is just the latest repeat in a series of blunders human technology seems obsessed with repeating. Ancient tales speak of flying vimanas. Vimanas were real vehicles and the origin of the aeroplanes. Great wars were described in early religious texts. Weapons could literally level the land like a moving force field. In ancient India, we find words for certain measurements of length. One was the distance of light years and one was the length of an atom. Only a society that possessed nuclear energy would have the need for such words. Consider these verses from the ancient Mahabharata, a single projectile charged with all the power of the universe. An incandescent column of smoke and flame as bright as 1,000 suns rose in all its splendor. A perpendicular explosion with its billowing smoke clouds, the cloud of smoke rising after its first explosion formed into expanding round circles like the opening of giant parasols. It was an unknown weapon, an iron thunderbolt, a gigantic messenger of death, which reduced to ashes the entire race of the Vrishanas and the Andakas. The corpses were so burned as to be unrecognizable. The hair and nails fell out, pottery broke without apparent cause, and the birds turned white. After a few hours all foodstuffs were infected. To escape from this fire the soldiers threw themselves in streams to wash themselves and their equipment.
When excavations of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro reached the street level, they discovered skeletons scattered about the cities, many holding hands and sprawling in the streets as if some instant, horrible doom had taken place. People were just lying, unburied, in the streets of the city. Excavations down to the street level revealed 44 scattered skeletons, as if doom had come so suddenly they could not get to their houses. All the skeletons were flattened to the ground. A father, mother and child were found flattened in the street, face down and still holding hands. And these skeletons are thousands of years old, even by traditional archaeological standards. What could cause such a thing? Why did the bodies not decay or get eaten by wild animals? Furthermore, there is no apparent cause of a physically violent death. There is evidence that the Rama Empire was devastated by nuclear war. The Indus Valley is now the Thar Desert, and the site of the radioactive ash found west of Jodhpur is around there. A heavy layer of radioactive ash in Rajasthan, India, covers a 3-square-mile area, 10 miles west of Jodhpur. Scientists are investigating the site, where a housing development was being built. For some time it has been established that there is a very high rate of birth defects and cancer in the area under construction. The levels of radiation there have registered so high on investigators' gauges that the Indian government has now cordoned off the region. Scientists have unearthed an ancient city where evidence shows an atomic blast dating back thousands of years, from 8,000 to 12,000 years, destroyed most of the buildings and probably 500,000 people. One researcher estimates that the nuclear bomb used was about the size of the ones dropped on Japan in 1945.
Another curious sign of an ancient nuclear war in India is a giant crater near Mumbai. The nearly circular 2,154-meter diameter lunar crater, located 400 kilometers northeast of Mumbai and aged at less than 50,000 years old, could be related to nuclear warfare of antiquity. No trace of any meteoric material, etc., has been found at the site or in the vicinity, and this is the world's only known impact crater in basalt. Indications of great shock, from a pressure exceeding 600,000 atmospheres, and intense, abrupt heat, indicated by basalt glass spherules, can be ascertained from the site.